So I want to show you one of the ways I use the cloning tool to add fabric to a design using the clipping mask. So I've opened up a canvas, and this is the design that I want to complete. So this is a line drawing of the costume I want to complete. And in this particular case, I want the skirt to be the yellow floral fabric that you saw in the last video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the wrench. I'm going to select Insert a Photo. I'm going to scroll down to my fast swatch. Now we can tell right away that that's not going to fit on the skirt. Even if I rotate that, I'm going down here to the bottom and hitting rotate, it's still not going to fit the skirt, right? Unless I make it larger. But then what happens is it changes the scale of the pattern, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to go back to the size that I want. And the truth is, I actually want the pattern on this skirt to be a little bit smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the clipping tool, working on the layer that has the yellow fabric. I'm going to use the clipping tool to insert this, but I'm going to use the cloning tool to make more fabric. So I'm working here on the image of my fabric. I'm going to come here and hit I'm actually going to make this bigger, I think. I'm going to clone it bigger so I can scale it down again. Okay. Then I'm going to come over here and the magic wand, I'm going to hit clone. I'm going to move this up in the corner. And then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to clone it. Now, one thing to remember is it matters how hard you press on the screen with your pencil when you're cloning. So right now I'm pressing hard, not hard like I'm going to break the screen, but hard enough that what it copies is an exact opacity of the piece that I have. If I use this pencil to clone and I press down too lightly, then what's going to happen is I'm going to get a lighter version of what I'm cloning. And so you can see I'm just filling this in. And the benefit is it's retaining the size of the flowers. So remember, if I just scaled that original swatch up to the entire size of my canvas, it's going to make the flowers too big, and I don't want that to happen, right? So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to finish this, and I'm going to show you what happens if I lighten my pressure. As I start my clone, I'm going to have my pen pressing down strongly, and then I'm going to lighten it up. And if you look really closely, so now I'm lightening up on my pencil. Do you see how now the part where I finished is much lighter than the actual original piece of fabric? All right? So now that I've got my bigger piece of fabric, I'm going to go here and I'm going to hit the movement button, and I'm going to bring this back down to the scale I want. Then I can go ahead and I can open up my image. I'm still working on the layer that has the fabric on it. I'm going to pull this down here and see that I've almost gotten it to the right length. So how do I fix that? I like this. I like the scale of the flowers. So I'm still working on the dress, and I can do this. I'm going to go ahead and move this back where I want it. I want it just on the skirt. I'm going to be sure that I'm working on the layer that has my fabric on it. I'm going to go up here to the magic wand. I'm going to hit clone, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to clone just enough of it to finish off the skirt. And now what I've got is I have enough fabric to cover the skirt. So now to put the fabric in the line drawing, I need to use a clipping mask. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to take this first layer, my inserted image, and the first layer of the clipping mask has to be the reference layer. I'm going to X out of this for a minute. I'm going to insert another blank layer. I'm going to move the inserted on top of that layer, and then I'm going to use whatever color is in this dot to fill in the skirt on layer 4. So I'm going to take my pencil and put it on the dot, and then pull it over to the skirt and let go, and now where that pigment is, that's going to fill in the skirt. Then I can go back here, and I'm going to activate my fabric swatch between, and I'm going to make this my clipping mask, and look what happens. Now I've got a skirt that is the fabric I wanted in the right scale. So I know there's a lot in this video, but go back and work through it, and that's one way that you can put an actual fabric in a garment using the cloning tool and the clipping mask.